gain. Is my face fuzzy? Yes, it is. If you mean fuzzy like this. Yeah. Unless you mean fuzzy like I'm actually fuzzy, then fixed, probably. Alright, I got a bunch of viewers, so I'm going to... Yeah, we got beard. Okay, so, first off, logs. So we're going to go over some logs from... Let's just do Scorpion normal. First things first. Main page when you come in to any log is this. So this is your main page. You're going to get damage done by source, healing done by source, damage taken by source. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to look at is how did I do? Okay, so it's really hard to tell how you did on a fight like this. Because, oh, Arizon just crushed everybody. Well, Arizon crushed everybody because she's playing Affliction Warlock. It's really good for this class. So what you want to actually do is something more along the lines of this. Open a second tab. You're going to want to... So we're going to go to Scorpion. We'll do it on Mythic because... fuck. Actually, we'll do it on normal because it is normal. Compare by... Affliction. So we got the top afflictions here. This is the damage they did. Now, what I want you guys to notice here is that I'm running two tabs, one for us, one for them. Now, the reason for that is the biggest thing you're going to use this for is you're going to go to yourself. I'm going to use Arizona as my guinea pig here because she crushed it. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to compare. So you got this button right up here that says compare. You can see where my mouse is. It says compare. You're going to click that. So you're going to compare your report. So you want to do compare report manually. So this is if they're in the same raid. So if you're in the same raid with somebody, you can compare within the same raid. That's fine to do. I don't typically do that because I don't compare myself to people I know because that typically causes issues. You know, there are ways. Let me see. They just changed this, so I'm trying to find real quick how to do this. Hey, Kyle. Lots of penis. Lots of penis. Is my page bugged out? So let's go back to compare. It looks like the page may be bugged out right now. I'm going to show you the basic idea. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this right here. These numbers. Letters and numbers in here. And you'd copy those. And there's usually a URL bar down here. And I might just be missing it. So it's usually right here underneath the compare reports manually. And it might be... No, I've got pop-up blocker off. So normally it's right here. So their page may just be bugged out a little bit for me. And you put that in there. So we have something to look at while we're doing this. I'm just going to compare Bragg. And we're going to compare them to K-Thanks because they both play the same spec. What you're going to see is this screen. So what it pops up is an analyzed screen of everything that happened during the fight. Real easy to look at. You go to damage done. And this is the biggest thing that people mess up. And you could do this for healing. You could do that. You can't do it for tanking. Tanking is a little bit different. And I'll show you real quick how to look at a tank's logs and see if he's doing everything correctly. So what you're going to look at is, so this is what Bragg cast during the fight. This is what K-Thanks cast during the fight. Now, it's not to pick on either side, but so he cast Grimoire 2 times, cast Wild Imp 697 times, which that's probably cast by something else. Deathstalker this many times. Yeah, mine's not popping up for some reason, Rahado. I don't know why. See, mine's just not pop. There it is. There we go. So this is what pops up. Sorry, it finally worked. So what we do is this. Paste that in. Boom, baby. Now what's going to show you is this screen. So this is both raids compared to each other. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to compare. So we're going to do Arizon. because this is Gul'dan Heroic, so we can't do Arizon. For some reason, this whoa, this went way out. So let's go with Yoko. She was healing. See if they have a healer in their raid. That was this is looking like it's messed up right now. Messed as all hell right now. Yeah, this is messed up pretty bad. So what we're gonna do, clear this right here. For some reason this messed up pretty fucking nastily for us. So we're gonna go back. No, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the logs and see if we can't fix the logs. Now that I've got it showing up. Oh, that's not the log I want. So this should. Nope. There we go. Scorpion on normal. There we go. See, this one's busted for some reason. This is the one that's busted. Will not work for me. Okay. But we can still make something work. I'll just go pick a different... Well, that's today's logs. Croesus Heroic. This is a good one to use anyways. So we're going to use this one. Let's make sure the compare fucking works. Okay. Compare works. So we're going to go... Let's go find ourselves Croesus. Who all do we have in the raid? I don't even... Let's pick on Pala, because Pala can... So, Croesus by Retribution Paladin. Okay, so this is what you should see. Hopefully it pops up correctly this time, and it doesn't error out like it did that time. Yeah, there we go. That's looking better. Not much, but it's looking better. Let's see. I think there's this big boy. Okay, so big boy apparently is not the right one. So what normally happens here is you get another report right there. And it looks like right now it's having a hell of a time with this because... Oh, why is it Trilliax? I had a Croesus. My mouse just died on me. Not necessarily. So, the reason that you're looking at the number of cast, but the number of cast that I'm talking about here is a basic cast. It's to see if you're casting the right spells the number of times. The problem with it is legendary. So you do want to look at legendary. So one of those things I'm going to tell you right now is I try not to look at the big cooldowns as much. If you're not using your big cooldowns, that is a problem on you just being absent-minded, and you need to fix yourself. I'm looking at the basic rotation here. So what you should see is, if this guy were to show up, which he should, you should see Pala and him have Templar's Verdict should be equal. Blade of Justice should be about equal, assuming the fights are about the same length for the fight. Now, like I said, for some reason they're not working. See, it's only showing one fight at a time for some reason. I have no idea why. But if you were to look at it, Templar's Verdict. He used Divine Hammer, which I don't believe Pala used. So... Oh, it's because we're going Heroic versus Mythic. That's why it's doing that. So, that's what it is. I just put in... Yeah, it's Heroic versus Mythic. I didn't notice that. I thought we were on Mythic. Or they were on Heroic. Whatever. So, not a big deal. You want to look at them and see that they're like 65 casts, Templar's Verdict. And you can even do it this way. I don't want to do it this way, but Templar's Verdict, 92. So their fight was much longer So you can expect that, but what else you can do is go in here. Ours was 3.5 minute fight. 3.5 minutes. 58 casts. Simple. It's very simple program. Now for tanks, it's a little bit harder. So I'm going to back out completely, and I'm just going to go to our logs. So that's 5 days ago. I'll just look at myself. So tanks, muck, and untimely doom. So untimely doom, you're going to want to look at, believe it or not, damage taken is not going to tell you anything, because tanks, it depends on who's tanking for how long, it depends on what tank it is. Yes, I will talk about the replay functionality. It's just going to take I'm going to get to that at the end. But, so for tanks, yeah, they just have different mitigation, different styles. So you're going to see a Brewmaster will take a lot more damage than anybody else, but in the end, they're still easier to heal because that damage is, brought down by Stagger. Well, what you're going to want to look at is buffs. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't get. So buffs. This right here is how many times I cast it where it wasn't already active. So that's a big thing there. So I cast it a lot more than 13 times. I can guarantee, because it's a 6 second buff, I had an almost 80% uptime. That means that 80% of the fight I had demon spikes up, which is really good uptime. Okay, well, Painbringer, 57. That's a pretty good uptime. Now here's something. 40% on that. That could use some work, just as a tank. It's impossible to actually always keep it running, but yeah, as much as possible. You're right. Now this is the type of stuff you want to look at for tanks. If their numbers just don't seem right, and they're taking a lot of damage, send them to their buffs. That's the first thing that they should be working on. Healers, the hardest thing for a healer to look at is, how did I do healing? Well, let's go to, I'm going to pick on a healer now. And I know I'm running a little bit longer than expected, and I apologize. I'm going to pick on Rahado. So, healing. How did I do? Well, that looks good, but this is what's going to help you more. You actually can look at a timeline of what everything you cast was. Now, why is this more helpful than actually seeing what you got done? Well, this is more helpful to understand what's going on in the fight. So if you know on, Croesus, there's a ton of magic damage coming out here. Yes, it is. I don't use the problems tab often because it doesn't work for tanks. But this tells you, look, like efflorescence. Rahado did not use an efflorescence until right here at 23 seconds in. What's going on at 23 seconds? We're stacked up underneath the boss. It's a great time to use the efflorescence. Stuff like that you could start seeing. Now, the problems tab is here. I do not use it much because it goes over like potions and stuff like that. Okay, well, for me as a tank, is a potion necessary? On progression, I typically try to use a potion, but, like on this fight, it's Heroic Croesus. Do I expect people to use potions? Muck used one. Do I expect people to use health stones? That's one of those ones you don't know. Well, thanks, Alexa. Jesus, scared the shit out of me, why don't you? Now, here's the thing that was talked about, was the replay. Now, I log everything with high bit rate, and I do advanced logging and everything so that you guys can look at this stuff. So what it is, as you can see, that the background is not loading well, but it is actually a top-down view of everything that's going on in the fight. And you can see what's going on. Now, this is Croesus, so what I'm seeing is, I'm guessing that the middle line's right here, right in between the two tanks, because that seems about right. I usually stand close to the middle. So, that means that we got a bunch of people, just, Yoko, we got Thas, we got Gondalorian, Erwin, Parl, kind of hugging one side and having to move further to get their DPS in when the Ray comes out. So that's something you can look at and go, hey, look, I need to work on that. The logs in themselves are, you need to work on this. You need to see them. If you need more help with logs, because guess what? This is just a quick rundown. When I go through logs, I can find anything that you did wrong in a whole fight. Come ask me for some more help. I can help you. That's all I'm going to go over tonight, though. Now we're going to get back to the raid. Don't think anybody was messaging me. There. Yeah, don't lie about your shit. Tell me when to pull. I'm helping with the portal right now because I'm not a scrub. No. I had those just to ignore the. I just hate that. Like, it annoys the crap out of me. Everybody's chatting, saying penis.
I'm a mod and you're streaming. I said penis.
Yeah, I normally have the sound on, and I turned it off for the meeting, so it's back on. So everybody hears you guys, so they know. All 2 of my viewers. No problem.
Yeah, I actually
Also-
learned a little bit about the other functions I didn't know about.
Also, if you guys want to learn how to sim yourself, I could help with that too. Because, you know, simming is important.
Obviously, you can't really sim.
That's the thing.
You
that
can't
sucks
sim
about